What was your reaction when you found out that you were pregnant?
When I found out I was pregnant, I was excited. We were both excited. I think he was more excited than I was. In shock. Anybody who knows me knows that I wanted my first baby by 30. I had always had the mindset, like my mom was a young mom, she was pregnant at 19, and she didn't get to live her life, because she was so busy being a mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will never do that. Like, I knew that I wanted to live my 20s and be a mom in my 30s.
Hello again and welcome to my podcast. Today we are going to have some special guests here. And I want to tell you, we're going to discuss the single parent spotlight. These are two very successful single parents, and I want to bring them here to just discuss and get more insight from them as to how their daily lives go as far as being a great single parent. So now I want to introduce you to these fabulous women, okay? Kanisha Johnson and Miss Jasmine Hicks. So just be ready and let's just have some fun. Come on, girls, come on, let's talk. They have mama shirts on, y'all. It's so beautiful. I'm so glad y'all here to join me on the Island Connection. How y'all doing?
Good.
Y'all good?
How are you doing?
We're doing good. Of course, y'all know what we're talking about because I've already sent out the cards to y'all, the questionnaires or whatever. Yes. And we're just going to make it, however y'all want to do it. So, my first question is, what was your reaction when you found out that you were pregnant?
You want to go first? Okay. Well, Braylon was planned. So, me and his dad had planned to have him. We were like, okay, we want a baby. We think we're ready. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about how we weren't ready later. But when I found out I was pregnant, I was excited. We were both excited. I think he was more excited than I was. But I think I was also in shock. I took like 6 pregnancy tests and they all said positive. But I think I was still in disbelief until I went to the doctor. And then they showed me, they were like, okay, this ultrasound. I'm like, yeah, you're actually pregnant. But I was excited when I first found out.
Awesome. What about you?
In shock. So Eva was definitely planned. Mm-hmm. Anybody who knows me knows that I wanted my first baby by 30. I don't know what it is about the number 30. I wanted to have my first baby at 30. And I found out I was pregnant 2 months before my 30th birthday. Wow. And it was definitely a let's see if we can have a baby situation. Mm-hmm. And we were together, it was fine. But it was like, And it worked. But I was in shock that it worked.
So y'all were very fertile. And y'all knew what y'all
wanted. It was very like ovulating, let's try to have a baby.
Yeah, so okay. Like let me look at my period app to see when I'm ovulating. Let's test this theory out.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you, but I was just like, there's no way I can get pregnant. Like you hear these stories about it being like hard to get pregnant.
Did y'all think it was too late? Or
No. I don't know. Something in me was just like, there's no way I can get pregnant. Like sometimes women just think they're not able to conceive.
I didn't think that I could because I feel like should have been pregnant a long time ago.
Nothing has happened before now.
That might not be perfect at that. I was like, maybe I just can't. So it was kind of like, well, let's see if you can, and I could. So, but that was my first ever pregnancy test.
Okay.
And first pregnancy, grateful that it was a successful pregnancy. But yeah, I did not think I could do it because it should have been done.
So now I'm gonna throw something out there for y'all.
Okay.
So be ready.
Okay.
It's just a question.
All right.
So you guys were passionate about having a child and raising a child.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys had already how did you plan to prepare yourself? Like, what were you thinking when you said, okay, I think I want a baby? What was it about it that you wanted your own? First of all, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask. Okay, so you have a son.
Yes, I have a 2-year-old son, Braylon.
Okay.
And I have a little girl, Eva. She will be 2 next month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're a few months apart.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys, what was going in your mind like when you just said, okay, I think I'm ready to have a child?
I think I've always wanted to be a mother ever since I was little.
Really? Really?
Yes, like my parents would give me baby dolls, and I would play with like Barbie dolls, and just being a mother and being pregnant just seemed appealing to me. Like I would see pretty women out and I'd be like, I want to do that. Like that looks fun. It looks exciting.
That was cute.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this looks so fun. Like, and then I would hold babies and I'd be like,
oh, I know.
Never got that feeling.
So, I don't know. But now I have a different opinion about it. So it's not all sunshines and rainbows.
He's
Yeah.
so cute though.
I was the opposite. I was the opposite. I was fine with being the fine rich auntie who traveled and bought lavish gifts. I was always the cool aunt. My nieces still think I'm rich. They always think I'm rich because I never say no, and I love that life. And I mean, I knew I was ready because, as bad as this sounds, I could afford it. I had always had the mindset, like my mom was a young mom, she was pregnant at 19, and she didn't get to live her life, like, because she was so busy being a mom.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will never do that. Like, I knew that I wanted to live my 20s and be a mom in my 30s. That was always my plan. So I used my 20s to live. I traveled. I worked in clubs. Did a lot of things that I will never disclose. You know, but I wanted to make sure I did literally every single thing I wanted to do, whether that was school, get degrees, work certain jobs. I wanted to do everything on my bucket list before I had her, and I had completed everything I wanted to complete. So
wow, did you do the same thing?
Yes, I think being financially stable definitely helps.
Yes.
I just bought my house, a few months prior. I bought my house. I was like, okay, I got my own place. I got somewhere to put the child. No, I got a good child.
You can feed the child.
I can feed the child.
Yeah.
So being financially stable was definitely like, okay, I need to get to this point.
So when y'all found out that y'all were actually indeed pregnant, how did y'all prepare for that? Because y'all had 9 months to prepare. So what did that look like?
I'm trying to remember, because I was diagnosed with postpartum depression. And so I feel like that kind of messed up my memory a little bit. Like I don't remember a lot of things from when I was pregnant or like Braylon's first year.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember.
But was that while you were pregnant or after?
After I had him.
Okay. Because I know sometimes hormones change when you're pregnant.
Oh, baby. And it messes with your memory.
Yeah. Well, I was diagnosed with postpartum, baby. I remember everything.
You do?
Really?
I remember every doctor's appointment. I remember every ultrasound. I remember. So I too had postpartum, finally through the fog, but I was diagnosed with preeclampsia. And
That's
Eva was the easiest pregnancy. Like I just knew, like I never, knock on wood, Jesus, never got morning sickness, never got evening sickness.
What?
I never threw up. I never blacked out. I never got hot flashes. I never got dizzy. Eva was the smoothest pregnancy. Once I reached 35 weeks, however, that's when I was diagnosed with preeclampsia because my blood pressure was elevated. And so I didn't get it from like the protein in the urine or the, like I didn't have a lot of issues that a lot of women have when you say preeclampsia, but I had, because my blood pressure was consistently elevated, more than 3 appointments in a row, they automatically give you the diagnosis. Wow. So my preeclampsia wasn't like a lot of people who I know have preeclampsia. Like my blood pressure, the highest I got was like 144/100. So, which is high to be pregnant, but it's not like one of my clients, hers was like 210. Wow. So when you hear 140 over 210, you're like, did you really have preeclampsia?
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of on the defense if I really had it, but hey, that's what the professional said. Better safe than sorry. But I mean, like, I had an easy pregnancy. I mean, as far as, now I will say to prepare myself, I wasn't as prepared as I thought I was going to be.
Yes.
Because unlike Jasmine, who purchased her home, during my pregnancy, I was going through that battle of getting overbid. when everybody was moving from California and New York and coming down here, buying a whole subdivision before we could even look at it. So
you needed more space.
I needed more space. I was staying in a little condo downtown Nashville, so of course now I need at least 2. And like everywhere I went for like a month and a half straight, I just kept getting out big, because people had cash and I didn't have $400,000 cash to give you, you know. But so I ran into the whole panic of where am I going to put my baby? And I think that had a lot to do with my preeclampsia. And I'm only saying that because my preeclampsia was strictly high blood pressure. It was no other health issues. Just the stress. I'm going to say that, and I believe that wholeheartedly because it was nothing else.
I remember that.
Yeah, and it was terrible.
Yes,
it was
I remember
terrible.
that because she does my hair, y'all.
Yeah.
And so I remember that because I remember telling you, I was like, just come stay with me for a while.
Yeah,
you remember that?
You did.
I was like, but I know how independent she is. So I know that was not going to be a factor. But I was just trying to get her to like, just come stay with me. I got a guest bedroom and all that. You can come and stay just to kind of ease her pain. But she was.
I wish I would have done it. In hindsight, because not only did I not get a house, I ended up renting a townhouse, which was perfect. Loved it, beautiful townhome. Loved the neighborhood, very safe, very affordable. But I also did not know, working for the Department of Health, that they do not pay maternity leave.
Wow! What?
That's why I said I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't. So luckily, I had a lot of money saved because I was prepared to put in on a down payment. But see, God has the final say.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to get a home because I didn't know in the future that I was not going to have income my entire time off. So luckily, my savings paid my rent.
And he provided. Man.
But I think that had a lot to do with my preeclampsia, that stress. I think that had a lot to do with postpartum. Because I was not in a good space.
And I want to talk to you about postpartum. I mean, that's not on the question thing that I have for y'all, but when y'all say y'all went through postpartum depression after the baby was born, what was that like for you?
It was crazy.
Really?
I think my doctor described it as getting the baby blues, which I don't know if y'all have heard that. But she didn't really go in depth about postpartum depression. Like I had never really heard of that. Not in depth. I think my doctor was mainly focused on, okay, we got to get you to the labor delivery safely, but they don't really educate women on the after. Like, what am I supposed to do with this baby? Like, how am I supposed to juggle life after I have a child?
Right. The balance of it all.
Trying to find balance, just finding myself. It was a lot, and then going through a breakup. Me and his dad broke up.
Wow.
All of that, it just
So after y'all had what about you? You kind of touched on that.
Oh, postpartum. I mean, y'all know I was a mess. I told y'all a lot. So I already personally struggle with anxiety and depression. That's something that I have been working through for a very long time. Luckily, I was in therapy before I conceived, so I've already worked through a lot of childhood traumas, a lot of like defense responses that I have. But I think a lot of it, not only with the income, which I'm grateful I had the savings, but like I ended up having an emergency C-section that was not planned. Because when I was in, so my blood pressure was elevated the entire time, and I use that air quotes because 140 is elevated. Okay. Yeah. But when I got to the hospital, and I think it was just I felt safe. My blood pressure was normal the entire time, but I had been there for 2 days, and they're like, "We gotta get this baby out." So they gave me whatever that is to start your labor. And I started contracting. Of course, I didn't feel anything, which there are pros and cons to that because they already feel like a lot of Black women lie about their pain level, but I genuinely didn't feel anything. And Eva was having a reaction to it, and her heart rate dropped.
Oh
no!
So it was one of those. We got to get her back here. So my doctor just straight up told me, which she had been my OB since I was like 18, since I first came to MTSU. So I've been with her for a very long time. So I trust her judgment. And she was like, listen, Kanisha, either we can have this baby soon, or I'm going to have an emergency C-section. So you can either decide, or I'm going to have to decide for you. So that's when I knew it was kind of serious. Because I was like, she's pretty much letting me know, like, I'm going to let you make the decision, but the decision is already made. So she kind of like let me be a part of my care, but it was rough. And I think just reflecting on that, because it's like, I beat myself up for so long because I just felt like as a woman, I felt like you're naturally built to do a thing, and I couldn't do that thing. That's how I felt.
That's how I felt about breastfeeding.
And then breastfeeding on top of that. So I'm like, I'm sliced open, bleeding. I have a screaming newborn. My mom, my whole family is in Georgia. My partner's family is here. But unfortunately, of course, we clearly didn't live together, but unfortunately, he got COVID like the week after I got pregnant. Had the baby. So I'm at home by myself, sliced open.
Trying to recover.
Take care of the baby. It was horrible.
I honestly think my postpartum experience was worse than actually like being pregnant in labor.
Agreed.
Really?
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
And more doctors need to touch on postpartum.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because it changes you. It literally changes you.
Wow. It changes how you look at people too.
Yes.
It changes how you look at, it made me realize, because I think I'm a pretty good friend, but it made me realize that how I could have been or can be a better friend to my friends.
Right. Especially our friends that have kids.
Yes. Because I don't have kids. So it's like you don't know how to be there.
Yeah.
And you think like, oh, they just need their space, but no, they don't.
No,
they need you. They need
you
to come.
Come
and
get
this They need you to come and say hello. They need that.
And I think part of that is your responsibility by picking up the phone and saying, hey, I need you.
I had people reach out and be like, what do you need? But in that moment,
you just don't know. Yeah.
I didn't have that.
You don't know what you need. I was just like, I don't know. I'm sad.
But you knew. And I remember I would text her from time to time and she was like, hey, what's going on? Whatever. And I'm like, I'm here. Just let me know. Yeah. But I think, like you were saying, you were just trying to do it all.
Yeah.
Because you were so used to doing everything on your own.
But I think a lot of it is, I think that, and I can only speak for myself, I think that it's not that you didn't need the help. I think that we were assuming and hoping that the people who we wanted to help
would be there,
would step up to help. Does that make sense?
Got it, yeah.
Like, I know I needed help, but I didn't want to ask certain individuals because I didn't want to hear what they had to say.
Right.
Like, I remember when someone called me and they asked me how I was doing. And I had a very honest moment. I said, honestly, I am really, really struggling right now. I'm in a really low place. I don't know what to do. And they told me, well, I had to do it.
That was their response?
What?
And I vowed then that I would never ask nobody to help me with my baby.
That's where that came from.
Oh, and that's why they'd be like, I'll keep Eva. No, you won't. If Eva can't come, then I just said, they told me, they said, well, I had to do it. And I heard that from multiple people. Really? And then I heard, well, it's just because you waited till you was older when you had your baby. How is 30 old?
That's 30 old.
It's just because y'all older. That's why you had the medical issues. Or you had a C-section. Ain't nobody in our family ever had a C-section.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, baby, they tore me down.
See, and I had a different experience. Everybody was like, oh, having a baby's so wonderful. It's like, mom of the year. And then I got on the other side and I was like, now everybody lied to me. I was so upset because I was like, nobody was honest about how hard being a mother is.
Yeah.
Like, day in and day out. It is not an easy job. It was like, oh, you're going to have so much fun. Like, no. Majority of the time, I'm not having fun.
Baby,
I'm not. This is not enjoyable.
Okay? But now, you're like, do you want me to keep Eva? Yes. Eva is outside.
And this day first baby.
And I'm going to take her debit card to her forehead. She got the money. I promise she's gonna go through.
So now, when I tell people who don't have kids, like my friends, I'm very honest with them. I'm like, being a mother is not easy. Like, I'm just go ahead and tell you, it's not.
But does this do something to y'all when y'all see y'all babies and they looking at y'all with this huge smile? Like,
yes, we love our kids.
Oh. Eva is my homegirl. You know how people are like, I'm not your little friend?
Right.
I'm her little friend. And I like being her little friend.
I remember when I came over to your house one time and Eva was really, really little and she didn't want to be around nobody but her mom. And I remember she was like, Eva, please let me finish this hair, please. And she's saying that she's on the sofa. She got Eva in her hand and she looked at Eva and she was just like,
it's like that job is crazy sometimes.
Right.
When we're not around them,
I miss
I'm just like, what is he doing right now?
Yeah.
I just need like a 24-hour break. Listen, I don't
Maybe
need
48.
Yeah, just give me
Sometimes.
like Friday and Saturday. I want her back on Sunday.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need my human back.
So y'all agree that a support system is huge.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yes, and it doesn't look like how you would expect. Like, I'll never forget it. I tell the story all the time, and it makes her so angry. But I'm gonna say it anyway. So, my line sister Sherelle, my fave, my realtor, the one who saw me in the house. Sherelle Johnson, realtor, if you know the house. Shout out to what this is. Sherelle, I'll never forget it. She called me one day, and I don't know if she just felt it in my soul, but I was in a dark space, and this baby over here crying on my right titty because the left one ain't nothing coming out, and it's barely coming out here, and it hurt, but I'm trying. And she calls me, and she's like, "Hey sis, what you doing?" I was like, "I'm nothing." And she's like, "Do you need something?" I was like, "I'm good." And I'm telling you, like within 20 minutes, Shura showed us in my house.
She knew.
I opened the door and I just busted out in tears. And when I tell you, she took my baby, she cleaned up my house, and she let me go to sleep.
See, that's
What?
And I was like, I
That's
would
the
never, ever regret her for that.
Yeah.
I'm like, she always, but that, because she knew what I needed when I didn't know what I needed.
Yeah.
And she knew what I was saying without me saying it.
right.
You know, so I was like, that's
Wow.
Yep.
You touched on breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So both of us, we had our babies when there was a formula shortage.
We were sharing milk.
Oh yeah.
We shared milk.
Y'all share milk?
Yeah, we were like, hey, if you see this,
So
in
you
the
were
store-
producing a lot. You were producing.
No.
Oh, you weren't nursing?
No, I tried, but he was too rough. And I
Okay.
had bruises. Like after the first day, I was like, maybe this is not right. So I tried to pup, and it's better to latch to get the milk to come down.
Yeah.
So I beat myself up about that because I was just like, I'm a woman, like I'm supposed to breastfeed, like that.
And there's a formula shortage.
And there's a formula shortage. I had to call relatives from out of town, like
Mm-hmm.
go to Walmart, Target. If you can find this formula.
Good grief.
And he's lactose intolerant, so he couldn't drink the regular formula. So it was.
And I think Eva was too, right?
Eva, see, Eva was the opposite. So Eva,
I'm talking about the formula.
no, baby, Eva never. Let me tell you, my baby's greedy. So it's not that I was unsuccessful. I wasn't as successful as Eva needed me to be.
Okay.
Oh.
So when Eva's just
Yeah.
drinking 2 ounces, oh baby,
Eva
we in
needed
there.
4.
Yeah.
When we would do 4, we might got 3.5. But when she started getting 6, I was having to split that breast milk up. Like we're gonna do half and half bottles. But eventually, Eva was always a greedy baby.
Really?
Which freaked me out because I couldn't keep up milk wise, which also made me sad because I'm like, I'm already not producing enough, and then when I'm producing, my baby like, where the rest? And then with the formula shortage, I'm like, Eva, you can't keep drinking all this milk because we don't know when we're gonna find you more milk. But so it was.
That definitely contributed to my postpartum depression. I don't know about you, but I was like, I can't find milk. I can't breastfeed.
Oh man,
It was rough.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give someone who don't have a support system? Like, what would you say to them?
That's
Like,
a tough one.
would you encourage them to call the people and just verbalize, just say, "I need to," even though you don't know what you need?
I think that people shouldn't expect their support system to be who they think it is.
Right.
The expectation.
And don't have expectations.
Yeah,
That's how you get disappointment.
Mhm.
But I personally have more, and still have more support for my friends in my motherhood journey versus my family.
Wow.
To this day.
I think I can say the same.
Yeah,
I
my
know
friends
if
don't
it's
miss a beat.
because we're
Really?
around the same age, like we have the same path.
Mm-hmm.
We're going through it together, and I will say like my group of friends has changed a little
Really?
bit. Yeah, I've had to cut off some people.
Why? Because you're a single parent, and
No,
because...
I think it's because I'm a mom altogether, and I think my friends who aren't mothers, they don't understand. Like when I say, okay, I was going through postpartum depression, they're like, oh, that's why you're acting that way, or that's why. And instead of asking me, they just assume like. So versus Kanisha, like she knows what I'm going through. Like I don't have to explain to her like I'm tired today, like because she already knows.
Yeah.
So it's like your friend group kind of changes because I think your priorities change.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your life changes.
Your life changes, yeah. So I'm not saying I have just a completely different group of friends, but
Yeah.
I'm not as close to my friends who don't have kids versus my group of friends who do have kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
But
kinda
you
shifted a
have
little
received more support from your friends,
Yes.
more so than your family.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, so what advice would y'all give someone who's afraid of the unknown? They don't know, like, they're pregnant, but they don't know, like, what to expect.
I think the only thing that they should pray for is a safe
Baby.
delivery
Mm-hmm.
and
Peace
a
of
healthy
mind.
baby
Mm-hmm.
and a healthy peace of mind
Yeah.
because planning is a joke.
Will stress you out.
I feel like there's no perfect way to plan
Yeah,
for
it
a
really
child.
isn't.
Anything can happen.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Literally anything
Yeah.
can happen.
because you can have all the money saved or you can have a great job,
That's
right.
but your company can shut down tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can't really, now you can put yourself in an ideal situation to
Mhm.
have safety nets. But I mean, at the end of the day, God has the final say.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's
so
nothing you can do.
true.
But don't have any expectations. But honestly, if you find out you're pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like pray for peace.
Yeah, definitely.
Mentally, emotion, physical, like pray for peace, pray for a safe pregnancy.
Did you
And
guys
delivery.
even maybe like read on things to kind of help you or go for a walk? So what to try to find your own peace while you were going through
Postpartum?
postpartum?
That's when I started therapy. Is when I was
Oh,
going
and
through
good.
postpartum.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
my therapist really helped me get through it. I think
Mhm.
telling those around me, like, hey, I have postpartum depression, that helped them be able to pour into me more.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely reading,
Mm-hmm.
taking time out for myself, self-care, things like that. That
Yeah.
helped.
That's good, Jasmine.
Yeah.
That's good therapy. And what would you say?
Mine was the opposite.
Why
Mine was the
is it always
Okay.
opposite?
So yeah, the way I got through it is, well, I had therapy prior to, been the same therapist for years,
Mhm.
but my therapist actually was not a good support system during my postpartum.
Really?
It was the total opposite, and I don't know, and I'm not trying to be biased. I don't know if it's because he's a man,
Oh.
but he has been my therapist forever.
Or maybe he couldn't relate to that.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you can
Well,
relate to what you
not even just
Yeah.
postpartum, just in life general. Now that I'm a mom, but I was
Yeah.
talking to my PCP, who's a black woman,
Mhm.
told me I just don't think that he is a good fit for this next chapter,
There
Of
you
your
go.
life.
and that's
Yes,
okay.
that
That
is-
doesn't make him a bad person. It's just
Right.
not a good fit.
Right.
But as far as what I did to help myself, I have a client. Her name is Brittany. Love Brittany. She's a therapist as well. But Brittany, she's the one who first told me about postpartum, kind of normalized me talking about it, because she has a little girl who's in school with
Oh.
Eva and Braden. They're in the
Yeah,
same
they're in the
class.
same school.
Not trying to say- Yeah, not trying to say the baby name.
Wow.
You know, not trying to do that. But she was very just like instrumental and made me feel seen.
Mhm.
But one day she's like, hey sis, I'm sending you something. It should be there today. And I'm like, what is it? So I opened it and it was a deck of cards. And it was like an affirmation deck for
Oh,
postpartum.
wow.
And every day it said a different affirmation and had a Bible scripture to go with
That's
it.
nice.
That is
And
very
And it was just out of the blue.
Somebody gave me like a self-care kit affirmation. It had like different affirmations on it too. That's
Yeah.
what
And that was awesome. And I mean,
That helps.
she's sweet. I love her to death. But I wasn't expecting her to like,
Yeah.
but she said that same deck of cards helped her. So she wanted to
Mhm.
get me one. So
That is great.
That's good.
That's good advice
Yeah.
to do. Okay. So, anything else y'all want to share on parenting? Like, what advice would you kind of give? I know I didn't write that in the script too, sorry. But what advice would y'all give single mothers who are maybe struggling and trying to take care of their baby in terms of like now, they don't have a father. I mean, the father just don't want to be involved at all because you guys have fathers that are
Yes,
involved,
we have
which is a
involved.
blessing.
I have a really good co-parent
Yeah,
situation.
yeah. So how do you help single parents that don't have that? So like y'all have mommy me time on the weekends when they're
God,
with
it's
their
so good.
dads.
And I love
But
it.
some single parents don't have that.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't be afraid to
And
co-parent.
every
baby.
weekend.
Don't be.
But Miss
Don't
Chloe's
you-
saying if they don't have a
Oh,
They don't
co-parent,
have it.
I would say do
Yeah.
she's saying find a
I
co-parent.
would.
Do not be afraid to co-parent. Because, baby, one thing about it, two things for sure. Eva has the best day on this side of Earth.
And we talk about this. We've said we feel like our child's fathers, maybe they weren't the best partner.
Right.
But they're good dads.
Great
best
dads.
daddy.
Yeah, great
Yeah.
dads. Yeah.
If I could do it again, I wouldn't send myself out
Right.
so long. But
Like two things
I
we
would
should
choose.
say.
I would
But y'all
choose
picked it well.
her.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Y'all didn't pick no
Absolutely.
bums. So
Yeah,
that's
so
a good
that's the
thing.
first thing you should do is be careful who you choose.
That's a whole nother
That's a
subject,
whole-
okay?
I'm
That's a whole nother episode.
I'm just saying.
And I would love to have them on here for
That
that.
will determine
Yes.
if they are present or not.
Yep.
But sometimes you don't know,
You don't.
and things change
Yep.
after a
Yep.
baby comes. We've also talked
And
about
things
that.
get different. They
Oh,
they
baby,
get to
babies
acting-
in a
change
relationship.
things. Babies
Yes.
change
Yep.
things, baby.
Yep.
So,
So you got a single
never know,
parent
like-
that are with their child 24/7.
They need to do it scared.
But they may have, like, their child may be in daycare during the week.
Mhm.
So while their child care, they have child care during the week and maybe they get off at like 4:30.
Mhm.
What would you kind of tell them what they need to do before they pick up their baby?
Well, first off, they don't need to prioritize dating.
No.
Wow.
I think that that's a lot of issues
Yeah.
with women, especially single mothers.
Mhm.
Because I try to say, I'm a single mom, but I'm not a single parent.
Yes.
So that's a difference.
Somebody tried to argue with me one
Yeah.
time. They're like, "You're not a single mother. The dad's
No,
present." I was
I'm a
like, "That's
single-
not what single mother.
Single mother
means."
is a mother who is single.
who is
Yeah.
not.
Now, I am not a single
Yeah.
parent because her other parent does their
Exactly,
part.
is right.
But someone who is a single mother and a single parent, like I know that a lot of women, especially a lot of friends who I know that are single moms, like yearn for companionship, which is normal. It's a
We
normal
all
thing.
do.
It's
Yeah,
a normal
absolutely.
thing. It's a normal thing.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like we should focus on dating. I think we should focus on healing,
Healing, yes.
and just getting our own selves
And nurturing
together.
your baby.
Yeah, and being okay with being by yourself. Because I do feel like there's a reason that you're in this situation. There's a reason that you had this child.
Right.
There's a reason that you had this child with this particular person.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of, and Miss Corey, I'm gonna quote you. I'll never forget.
What I do? What I
No,
say?
see, it wasn't that. It wasn't that.
Okay.
So I was doing your hair, minding my business. So it was one particular hair appointment, and I remember I was deep in the postpartum because you remember I did your hair like right before I had the baby.
Mhm.
So I was real sad, and I was really beating myself up because I was like, dang, I'm a single mom. Like I went to school, I got all these degrees, and I'm just somebody baby mama. I'm just somebody baby mama. Like I worked so hard just to be a baby mama because those things do play in your head. Because I'm like, I feel like I did everything right. I went to school, I was good, I was
With
kind,
multiple
I was
degrees?
hard. Like multiple degrees. I'm
Yeah.
like why am I married? Like you did all that to be a baby mom. You could have been a baby mom in your 20s. Like that's just in your head, in
Yeah,
your head, in your
those
head.
voices.
But I remember you said, Miss Corey, and I'm still working on it. I'm getting there. I'm about 76%. You told me the first thing I need to do to heal is I need to forgive myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
You told me I need to forgive myself.
That is
I need to
true.
sit down and I need to tell myself that I'm sorry. I need to forgive myself.
Mhm.
And once I forgive myself is when I'm going to be able to move forward.
Yes.
Wow.
See,
and I
Oh.
told
Oh,
I was
really?
like, that is good advice.
But that's serious though. Like,
You have
that's
to
part
forgive
of the focus
yourself.
on
Yeah.
themselves. You have to forgive yourself.
Mhm.
And you gotta stop throwing pity parties because at the end of the
The
day,
day got it.
the day gotta end.
Yeah.
Shout out to
And
Maria.
Eva's coming.
Eva here.
Like we have things to do.
Eva
Right.
like, Mom, how you gonna pay for this?
Not
Mom.
saying you can't be sad for 5 to 10 minutes,
Right.
but don't let it linger.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
pick yourself up.
Yeah.
Eventually.
That is
Yeah.
so true. Because I just told a single parent like maybe 2 weeks ago. I told her the exact same thing.
But that's real
and
though.
to write a
Yes,
journal
yes.
because she was so heavy on herself. And I was like, I said, in your journal, I want you to write down the things that you forgive yourself for.
Mm-hmm.
And just let it go, release it, and just move on.
Yeah, because sometimes we have zero control over.
We do.
We don't have no
What
control.
And
Yeah,
our
we
emotions just
have-
go
yeah.
up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to just tell your mental self, like, no, I'm not
Yeah.
doing that
Because like the
today.
last time you were in your head.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause
your
I'm
own
like,
head.
I'm like, I had to do that. But then my granny number's like, I'm just so proud of you. You know to school. You got all these degrees.
Because people don't see what y'all go through.
And I'm just like, but I'm
Right.
somebody baby mama.
Right.
And when
But
my
see,
clients
people
was like,
don't
no,
see
you're
that.
Eva's mother.
Yeah.
You're Eva's mother.
Right.
You are not just somebody baby mama. But I think that's still something that I'm still working through. Because I'm like, anytime I get it, because you have those moments.
Yeah.
You know, the Lexapro wears off a little
Mhm.
bit. You know, at the end of the pill when it wears off. But in the morning I'm hyped because I'm fresh on the Lexapro.
Yeah.
But that's real though. Like I be having to tell myself, like, Kanisha, you have to forgive yourself. Like, stop beating up yourself. You have to forgive yourself.
And I think
you
a
wanted
lot.
this baby.
I think about where y'all are now and how worse it could have been. You
Oh,
guys have
yeah.
accomplished so much,
Yeah.
and y'all have so much to be thankful for. From the, you know, the fact that y'all are, you know, self-independent. Y'all got your house. Y'all got your means of transportation. Y'all got, you know, y'all just do it. Y'all able to dress well, and that's why a lot of people look at y'all and think, okay, they are so successful. They got it going on, even though y'all don't think that.
Yeah.
But y'all really do. Like the way you present yourself out into the world. Y'all never step out with a bonnet on y'all head.
Oh,
And,
no.
and, you know, y'all too classy for
But
that.
I also
That's
think
what I
that's
love
why
about
people
that.
don't ask. Well, me personally, I feel like that's why people don't ask me, like, hey, do you need anything? Like, even now, because I think what postpartum, it can last up to like
It
5 or 6
can.
years.
It really
But they said
can.
you don't start feeling like yourself until year 2.
Yes.
And I think that's why I'm
Yeah,
starting
I'm
to feel
starting to
normal.
feel-
Yeah.
It's coming around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel it
I
come
think
down
that's
a
why
little bit.
people, they just,
They
they're like, oh, she's
assume.
okay.
Yeah.
She alright.
She got a house. She got a car.
You know where
She's
she
driving
live.
around.
You know where she works.
Yeah.
You know where she
Yeah.
made.
Uh-huh.
I looked it up.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's more.
It's
You
more
gotta
to
look
it than
within,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like
That makes
mentally,
sense.
emotionally, sometimes it's not okay.
Sometimes you're on the up,
Yeah.
sometimes you're on the down.
Yeah.
Sometimes we
It's
just
on the day.
But that's life, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
You
kids
know.
is bad.
They are not.
We're in
bad.
the toddler phase though.
Yes.
So
They're in the
after the toddler
they're in the
phase,
challenging twos.
And I heard the 3-nagers are there.
I
Oh,
heard
my
the threes
goodness.
are worse than 2s, and I'm like, oh,
It could
it's
be more
worse.
challenging, yeah.
He was like, I said, girl, I will put you on the chair.
It's attitude.
But they're developing their own independence at a very young age. So,
Yeah.
you know, if they have their own, if they can say no and they know no means authority, they gonna use that to the best of their
No,
ability.
Miss Corey, you told me Eva was my roommate.
She
Last
is
time you
your
came to my house.
roommate. And
Would you let
Jalen
me
is
know?
yours.
I agreed. I said, this is Braylon's house.
They roommates. When I stepped in here, I saw the car.
Toys.
I
Everywhere.
saw toys.
It's
I was
Daycare
like,
center.
I said, they run this whole
Yeah.
house.
You work so
But
hard
it's okay.
for a 2-year-old that you have to feed and bathe and change their butt to tell you what to do. You can't even wipe your butt without me. But look at me doing everything you say.
Right.
It's crazy.
I mean, these babies have been on more trips than I ever can imagine. And I'm like, wow. I mean, I see pictures of them and they on the beach.
Yeah.
They in
It's
Disney
bad.
World.
Yeah.
And I'm like, before 2 years old,
It's pretty
they
bad.
on a plane. Like,
It's pretty bad.
but y'all done so well. That's what I mean about just being so grateful for the things that y'all are able to accomplish, because y'all have accomplished a lot.
Yeah. I remember somebody told me, they're like, you know, the baby slows you down. This is when I was in like my younger 20s.
Mhm.
But
No.
You know,
I don't think that's false. Maybe in some areas, but
Yeah.
not completely. I don't think a baby slows you down. I think it gives you more motivation.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
keep
To
moving,
To
keep going.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
a little
I can see
person
that.
who's looking up to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
I don't want my
depending
kids
on
to
you.
be a joke. I
Yeah.
don't want
Yeah.
Eva to be like, my mom's a joke. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Or
wow.
creating,
Like, wow, that's my
creating
mom.
possible childhood
Yeah.
trauma.
Right.
Mama trauma.
Like,
Mama trauma, baby.
I don't want to be responsible for it.
Okay, so
You know,
I'm
childhood
curious.
trauma.
I'm so curious. I'm gonna ask one more question.
Okay.
That's not on this, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. So what do y'all do on the weekends that your father has your child? What are some of the things that y'all try to do for yourselves?
Everything.
Really?
We try to do everything under the sun while we're free.
We bring it up, baby. We take trips.
We have the same free weekends.
God is good.
Oh my
We have
goodness.
the same free weekend.
By the way, they free this weekend. They fathers have their babies, so that's why I'm seeing all the smiles and the joy.
Wedding
Go ahead.
trips, even if it's just a day of me sleeping and doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
See, that's what
I'm
I
sure I
feel.
scheduled that in.
Yeah.
I was dating somebody at a point that was not my child's father, so when I was dating
That's
him,
been
I
good
would
for
go
you?
out. Well, we're not together anymore, but
Oh, okay.
when I was dating him, we would go out, we would go on trips and stuff. So,
And I think that's good that you can date and not have your child around because you're still trying to feel that person or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think, what made you decide like, okay, I can date?
I kind of was undecided or indifferent about it.
Really?
About like stepping out into the dating world. But I had so many guys that were expressing interest. I don't know if becoming a mother was appealing to them.
Like, oh, she fertile.
I've had some guys be like, oh, I feel like you're more attractive now that you're a mother. So I guess that's the thing.
I've heard that before.
Baby, they love the moms.
Yeah,
the
I've
moms
heard
out
that.
here.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of
I think
men
it's because
express
they see
interest.
how committed you are
And
as
you got one
parenting.
kid?
Yeah. No, not just one.
And you can still have some more?
Right.
Now, he may have to come with his own kids. You know,
Oh, you
blended
done?
family.
You done?
Never
You
mind.
I think
done
I'm
too?
good.
I'm talking about coming with your own kids.
Come with your own kids. He gonna have to come with his.
Baby, he gotta come in.
Are you serious?
You gotta come
Y'all
with
don't
me.
want any more babies? Like, to be pregnant?
I
no more?
do. I asked God to hide me till I'm healed. I
That's
asked God to
good.
hide. I have no desire to
Oh,
be
that's
out
good.
here trying to play with these people's sons. I'm not gonna raise nobody's sons. I'm not gonna raise nobody else's children.
I like that.
I ask God to hide me till I'm healed. So I'm not trying to date. I'm not trying to pursue. I'm not trying to meet up. I'm not trying to. Kanisha, can I set you up? I can't tell you how many people have asked me, am I ready to start dating?
Yes, I've entered that phase too.
It's
Really?
crazy.
I was gonna ask
And I'm
you
like,
guys that.
I
Who
was just
y'all
getting
got?
my hair done the other day, and my hairstylist, who's been doing my hair since I was in middle school, she was like, "Are you dating anybody?" And I was like, "No," and she kept asking me, and I was just like, kind of taken aback, like, why do I need to be dating right now?
Yeah.
I'm
not
I'm
ready
just
for that.
not interested.
I'm not. I have no desire.
Really
Now I do desire more children though. I want at least 2 more because I do want 3.
natural? Like, I mean, you wanna?
Oh baby, I want them to grow in me.
Okay.
I liked being pregnant.
I was gonna ask you, did you
I
like being pregnant?
loved it.
Y'all
I was
dress so
sad.
cute.
I
Y'all
was so
dress
sad.
so
I like
cute.
the wild.
Really?
I love pregnant women. Anytime I see a pregnant woman, I freak out.
And y'all can
That's
eat whatever
me.
y'all
I
want
was
to.
like, I loved it. I loved my little belly because I was just belly.
Yes,
I
yes,
was.
you
I
were.
was small.
Baby, I loved it.
You
So I was
were.
small, so I was able to
I didn't even
hide
know
my
you were
belly.
pregnant. I did not know.
I was able to hide
Until
it
your
for a
mom
while.
told me, and
I was like
like,
6 or 7 months.
Your mom told me.
yeah.
She told everybody.
She told
me. She think that's her baby.
Okay, don't talk about my best friend because her mom is my best friend. I love her.
But yeah,
So-
I was able to hide mine for a while, and I was like, ooh, I kind of wanted a bigger belly, but
Because I remember a picture you sent me, and I don't know where y'all were, but y'all took this beautiful picture. You had on this long flowy dress, and the baby was still in your. I think it maybe been
maybe
downtown
my
or
maternity
something.
pictures. Maybe it's my
It
maternity
was.
pictures. Yeah,
Those were
I was
It
little,
was
and
gorgeous.
I waited.
Yeah, and I was like, she
I
has a
got to
little
the end, and I was still
basketball.
little.
Still little.
Yeah.
And then your baby shower.
I blew up.
It.
You were cute though.
You
I
were so
grew up-
pretty.
I grew up at the very
And you had that long flowy dress for your baby shower, and I was like, "Wow, this is grand." But it was gorgeous.
Not the baby was
The
baby.
baby was heavy.
Yeah, I was gonna say towards the end, I was like, okay, get this baby out of me.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Y'all were
I'm
ready.
gonna do
I
it.
like her being me though.
Did you?
I like going like, and then her going this way, and I go like,
I like that too, but at the end, I was like, okay,
yeah.
it's over. I'm ready.
Yeah.
How challenging was y'all when y'all were trying to when they first came home, and I'm sure their sleeping patterns wasn't the greatest.
Oh yeah. So I had my mom and my grandmother,
Oh wow.
Oh,
and
that's so nice.
at the time, my boyfriend's mom were all in town, and I was just like, this is too many women.
It's the village.
It was too much for you.
It was too much for me.
Mm.
I mean, it was helpful, but at the same time,
It was overwhelming. Yeah.
Mm.
Were you
All
able to
these
sleep
people
though
in.
while they were here?
I
Were you
was
a little?
a little bit, but then they were bothering me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or did you feel like you still had to host and do all that?
Oh no, they were on their own. But it was, and then I had people people like coming by, like bringing us food and stuff, and
Oh wow.
No
people,
wonder you want to be
my friends,
Yeah.
my friends that were from out of town would come and visit me. It was just a lot.
You can get rest.
I didn't get none of that.
It was.
It was a
I won't
lot.
say it wasn't enjoyable, but it was a lot.
Yeah.
Once, and I was like, you said your experience was not like
Baby,
that.
listen, if I would have had your experience, I'd probably been pregnant back to back. So my experience was polar opposite than yours. So my little humor was cut out of me. I didn't get to push. So of
You
course,
couldn't walk up the steps or anything.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So my bedroom was upstairs, so I was pretty much stationed upstairs. So luckily, my mom bought me a mini refrigerator that I kept next to my bed. So I was able to like fix her bottles right there through the middle of the night. And then she was on like something like 360, like the Pro. So it was the pre-made ones. I mean, they had powder, but the pre-made was just so much easier.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and I couldn't do as much moving, but
Right.
I had the total opposite.
So nobody stayed with you when you first came home?
When I first came home, my mom was there for like 2 or 3 days.
Days, not weeks?
No, days. Then she went home. And then he stayed. But then
He had to go back to work.
he had to go back to work, and he has another child. And when he got the other child had COVID. So then
So
he
he
was
couldn't come
exposed to
home.
COVID.
Yeah.
He couldn't come and help.
So I had to pretty much thug it out.
Wow.
And it was terrible. It was a terrible, terrible experience.
It's crazy that we had different experiences, but our outcome and how
Yeah.
we feel now.
Like you
is
still
the
want to
same.
get pregnant?
Yeah.
Well, I said if I meet the right person who's my husband,
Who is my
I
husband?
would consider.
Okay.
But it would take a lot of convincing and a lot of
It wouldn't take
conversations.
to me.
So when would y'all think y'all would be ready to date again? I mean, y'all talking about husbands now. I mean,
Exactly.
so y'all have to go outside.
I've dated after my son was born,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that gave me clearer vision of what I was looking for in a husband.
Oh, that's
And
good.
so I was able to be like, okay, that's not what I want.
Mhm.
And
Do you know what you want now?
Yeah, I think
You want to share?
I,
Like what?
let me think.
Is it all like?
quality?
Is it all? Yeah. Like is it all outside or?
No, so as I get older,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a man, of course, he has to be attractive.
You gotta think about the children.
Has
Absolutely.
to be easy on the eyes. But I think what's deep within matters the most because, I mean, looks fade after a while.
That is
and
so
then you're left
true.
with their character and their personality and their morals. And if
Right.
they have none, then what do we have? So I think that's most important.
Man,
That is so
Jasmine,
true.
you've grown up so
You
much.
are so
I'm
sure.
so proud of you.
That's baby now.
Yes, because a lot of, I mean, you got adult women out here that don't even think about that. And
It's
the fact that
important.
yeah, it's huge.
Because I mean, if we're not stimulating each other,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have to want to look at you, okay?
I said that. I mean, you have to be nice looking.
I mean,
But that's not
Right.
everything.
It's
because-
not
You don't have to be
everything.
a 10 out of 10, but you gotta be a strong 7.5.
Okay.
Because
all with the board.
Okay, so let me
You
ask you
gotta think of
this.
children.
But do you think that the personality of a male can outweigh how they look? I mean, they still have to be attractive, but say if they're like a 4 versus a 7, but their personality outweighs all of it.
it's for okay.
I'm just asking.
Okay, so listen. I feel like that's I don't like that question because
It's a trick question.
You can have
Is it really?
no, yeah, it's a very true question. Let me tell you why I'm saying that. I think it's a very biased question. I feel like you want to start answering. I'm not gonna
No.
So you can have a great personality,
Yes.
but you can have terrible work ethic. You can have terrible morals.
That's
You
true.
can have
True.
no values. You
True.
can have, you know what I'm saying? You can have no boundaries. So I don't think personality.
But I think she's saying like all of that of all of what you said.
Right. Thank you. All of
Not
that what
just
you said,
personality.
but the look is just not there for you.
It's not happening, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I am. No, listen. You don't have to be all that, right?
Thank you for your
Because
honesty.
I'm not all that to somebody, right? Everybody has their own type. So I might not be your cup of tea. And they might, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just because I don't find you attractive doesn't mean that you're not attractive to somebody.
But like Jasmine said, the outside
It
thing.
does fade.
Uh-huh.
However, while it's not faded, I have to be attracted because this is my thing. this is my thing. Like I want to be attracted to you. I want kids. I'm not about to have sex with you because you have a nice personality.
No, I'm saying.
What are you saying?
Looks draw you in, but everything else makes a
Okay, but looks
person-
draw you in. But she said if you're a 4, the looks isn't gonna draw you in. But you know what I'm saying? That's why I said a 7.
It's a case by case.
Right, obviously.
But no.
Oh, so she said a 4. That's like ugly.
You don't do that.
Oh, okay. I think I said 4 because you said 7.
I feel like a 7 is fair. It's a
Okay,
7.
so what if he's a 5? What if he comes slightly under that?
7 is there.
Yeah.
7 is like
got to be there.
7. You gotta have a
Okay.
nice home, clean cut, no acne, good.
They could be
mood.
that. They could do all of that.
As a 7.
As a 7.
But I'm like a 5.
I'm saying that they can't. Okay, 6.5.
Eva can't be bopping around all cute and then here go this kid. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the thing. You gotta, and I'm not trying to be cliche, but I'm being honest. Like,
Yes, you are.
because the kid might not look like you. The kid might not look like them. The kid might look like the brother.
That's what
The
I'm
kid
saying.
may look like the sister.
That's
the
what I'm
mom.
talking about,
You
the
gotta look.
family.
So if you're a
Yes.
4, you're a product of your parents. So what do your parents look like? Not my babies.
I said looking at somebody's family matters.
That matters.
Yes,
And it might
that's
sound
true.
real cliche, but baby, I care about my children. It's not my legacy. I have one child. I'm sorry. I can't do it. I can't lie. I can't sit around and lie like that. Like,
I appreciate you being
Yeah.
transparent and honest
looks
about
can
it.
fade, but they can get fine when they get older too.
That's true.
Cause y'all know some fine salt peppers.
Yeah.
It's some salt peppers. It's
And when
big.
they were younger, they wasn't all.
Exactly.
But
You know,
yeah.
think about the people you seen in elementary school and how they look now. You
Right.
like, whoa.
Right.
So it could. Why
It
can't it go
change.
down? Why can't it go up? Y'all looking at the glass half empty instead of half full.
Who's saying?
Okay.
I mean, I'm just saying. That's just me.
But to the single moms out there,
Yes.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
dating is not hard at all.
It's not.
It's not.
It's really.
I know some women think like, oh, I'm never like a guy's gonna want me because
That's
I'm
good.
damaged good.
Yeah.
No.
Because I was a single parent, I thought the same way. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I already got a child. Nobody's out here want to look for somebody with a child.
That's a fear though, Mom.
And I ended up marrying someone who
love that for you.
didn't have a child at all.
See?
So
See?
it's possible.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I just fear dating someone because the world is crazy, and I have a little girl,
Yeah.
and I will kill you.
You have to be
Yeah.
extra cautious.
That is
You
my
really do.
biggest fear because people
Mhm.
are creeps.
Yeah.
And like that is one of my biggest fears as far as getting back out here dating. I think that's why I'm so reserved about
Yeah.
it because I'm
Yeah.
like, I got a little girl.
Yeah.
And I would hate to go to jail.
Yeah.
Because you're not people are sick.
Right.
And they mess with little boys too.
They do.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I just think about stuff like that. And I know
Yeah.
you shouldn't always be negative, but we have to be
Mhm.
realistic.
Yeah.
Like people are sick.
Because you hear stories all the time about a step parent has killed
Oh
their,
my
their
gosh.
stepchild.
Yes. Yes.
And
And that's why I think
Or
it's
they
so
go
important,
missing.
like what you said about, you know, dating when your child is not around.
Yeah.
Because I know that when I, before I got married, Jerome and I dated for 2 years. Before he had met
I love that.
my daughter.
You have to,
I love
Because
that.
I was just trying to figure out, because even though he was a minister, you know, before he passed, but even though he was a minister, to me that it really didn't mean anything to me. You know what I mean? It was just, I just need to see your character. I need to see what you coming with and
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
Before we incorporate.
Yeah, before I let you
Other
even
people.
meet. And I think, man, we could talk about this so much. Because as single parents, I know there's single parents out there that bring other men into their house. And so these kids are being exposed to all these different
Different
In
things.
spirit.
Yeah.
In spirits.
Yeah.
And,
You gotta
yeah.
be careful who you letting your
And
home
then your
baby.
kids are
And
like,
around your kids.
right, exactly, around your kids. And that's really important, like
Mhm.
protecting your child at
Mhm.
all costs.
Yeah, that should be number one.
Yeah.
priority.
That's good. I'm glad you said
And I want you to
that.
be able to talk. I want Eve to say, well, you know, she kind of spicy now. She was like, no, but I want Eve to be like, I
Tell you what's
like
going
it.
on,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like-
Because kids can really sense.
Yes,
Even
energy.
now.
That man,
They
they
can
do.
sense
They
energy,
do.
Mhm.
I remember when Kristen was my oldest daughter, 29, but at the time she was 3 years old. We went to this service, and I didn't know what was going on, but they had those tall African. They were on those stilts or whatever.
Oh,
Mhm,
yeah.
mhm.
And one guy, he got off of him. He came to her. He, was saying hello to me, but she literally got out of my lap and crawled up under like the
She's
the vestibule,
scared.
and she was just shaking.
No.
And he was like, "What's wrong with her?" Like, what? And I was like, "Oh, we're good, thank you."
Right.
And I grabbed her and I left. But I was saying that to say, kids are so in
Yeah.
tune.
Sometimes they notice the
They know before you know,
Yeah.
and that's why a lot of parents sometimes they don't pay attention. They're like, "Oh, I don't know why she acting like that,"
Right.
and
Just
then they
brush it
let
off.
these guys come in and tell your child what to do.
Right.
Baby,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And y'all just dating. Y'all ain't even married, but y'all dating.
that's one thing my mama did not play about.
Yes.
Like my mom, she got married when I was younger, and her husband, he was a very mean man, but she did not let him say anything to us.
That's
She
good.
did not let him discipline us.
That's good.
Like
Mhm.
if me and my sister did something, you let her know and she gonna whoop her.
Right.
Right.
But there's no reason why he should be saying nothing to your child. Now don't get me wrong, you should respect them as an adult.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna be fussing at my kids, you're not gonna be whooping at my kids, you're not
And
gonna be putting hands on them.
babysitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Babies.
They got something to do that too now. I'm just throwing it out there because y'all
I
know
know
some
some
single
people,
parents that do
who
that.
do it.
Be like, "Oh, my boyfriend watching them and told me
Yeah.
go
My
shopping or
ex-boyfriend,
whatever."
actually, he offered to watch Braylon one time. And I was like, no.
See,
I was
yeah.
just like, we're not
You
there.
know, you feeling, yeah.
Mm-mm.
That's important. And that's why I thought it was so important to have you two on, because I know your values, your morals. I know how you are when it comes to your child. You guys are very responsible. Y'all are very watchful. And you take care of your own. You take care of your business. So that's why I wanted to have y'all on the show.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully I can get y'all on again, talk about the whole dating scene maybe later
Oh,
on. Later on.
Jasmine,
There's nothing going on
I'm
now.
hidden.
Oh,
Another
God, you
time.
hide me too.
Hi, my Lord.
Maybe next month, maybe 2 months from now, and just see where you guys are. And of course, talk about a little bit more into, the parenting as far as, the dating and how you're balancing that out as well. But I want to thank y'all so much for this podcast. And I want to leave with this. Sue Atkins left this little saying, and it says, "There's no such thing as being the perfect parent. So just be a real one."
Ooh, yes, I like that.
So thank you so much, ladies, for joining me. And
Thank
Oh, thank you.
till next time.